She would do all she could in order to keep the attention off of her, right? Oh, maybe not. Somewhere Shohei Ohtani has got some massive criticism from some fans. That's part of being a professional sports player. I don't care who you are.
Angel Reese is officially losing it, all because WNBA fans dared to criticize her over, you guessed it, yet another controversial post. With the league in off-season limbo and absolutely nothing exciting happening on the court, Angel clearly decided to keep the spotlight on herself, whether anyone wanted it or not.
But you're still posting all these three-quarter naked pictures out there, and you're wanting to play the victim. It's a bad look. The other thing that Angel Reese has decided to do, and she did it the other day and I let it go. Yeah, I'm not letting it go today. Is now she has decided to attack fans.
Angel Reese is officially losing it all after WNBA fans criticized her for yet another controversial post. With the league in limbo and absolutely nothing exciting happening on the court, Angel clearly decided to keep the spotlight on herself, whether anyone wanted it or not.
Ridiculous, and let's talk about how ridiculous it is.
Known more for her dramatic antics than her basketball highlights, Angel Reese has managed to rub fans the wrong way for ages.
Angel Reese has taken to doing two things, all right? Number one, being a massive hypocrite because, well, she didn't want to be over-sexualized, but she's posting some brand new underwear pics, some brand new draws pics.
From her over-the-top sympathy-seeking moments to her blatant jealousy toward Caitlin Clark, it's like Angel Reese has mastered the art of making things worse instead of better. And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, she showed up flaunting a bikini online, setting the internet on fire, but not in the way influencers dream of.
I do think that some of this drama, and she started some of it, to be fair, got to her.
I'm literally lost for words, knowing what this woman meant to me in such a pivotal point in my life. She was the only person, which is interesting since she's been...
He didn't pay some bills, baby. I just hope y'all know, the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for what I said.
Angel Reese just proved that chief isn't a personality trait, it's a lifestyle choice, and she's owning it with a vengeance. In the offseason from basketball, she decided that a few extra bucks were worth completely destroying her image, so she pursued a bold career.
I'm a beautiful girl. Like, I'm a beautiful woman. I've been posting pictures in my bikini. I got a nice body and I work hard for it. And if I want to post a picture in my bikini, I should be able to without being sexualized.
From the beginning, it's been obvious that fame and money were her top priorities, no matter where they came from. Last night, she was spotted at a strip club with Cardi B, finalizing a bold modeling contract that left everyone speechless for all the wrong reasons. I've got all the messy details, so let's get straight to it. She's a court magician, pulling off jaw-dropping plays that make even her critics pause. Meanwhile, Angel has been working overtime both on and off the court trying to outshine Caitlin, but it hasn't worked. Cooper Worth has published an article claiming that Caitlin Clark joins Jason Tatum and the Cavender twins on Forbes' 30 Under 30 list. Caitlin Clark is a phenom. She led the NCAA in scoring, set multiple records for three-pointers, and single-handedly carried Iowa to the finals. The fans love her, the media loves her, heck, even her rivals secretly respect her. And now, with her name cemented on Forbes' iconic list, it's clear Caitlin isn't just dominating basketball, she's dominating life. Caitlin Clark's rise to stardom is one of those stories that seem almost too good to be true. At just 22 years old, she's become the face of women's basketball, a record-breaking athlete, and now a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree. But this isn't just about talent, it's about grit, determination, and an almost otherworldly ability to shine when it matters most. Caitlin didn't just play basketball, she transformed the way the game is seen. And yet, amidst all her success, one person has been quietly or not so quietly fuming Angel Reese.
She wins the national title. First thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, Who's standing up applauding but Angel Reese? So she's sort of embraced a Draymond Green role here.
From the moment they first met on the court, the tension between Caitlin and Angel was undeniable. It wasn't just competition, it was personal. Caitlin, with her sharp shooting skills and uncanny ability to read the game, made every play look effortless. Fans adored her, not because of her background, but because of her brilliance. On the other hand, Angel was always the loud one, the defiant one, the player who brought drama both on and off the court. While Caitlin's game did the talking, Angel often resorted to theatrics. Let's be real, Caitlin's stats alone are enough to silence any critic. She led the NCAA in scoring, averaging an insane 27.8 points per game. That's not just good, it's historic. She became a three-point shooting machine, hitting shots from distances that made defenders look helpless. It wasn't uncommon to see her drain a shot from nearly half court, turn to the crowd, and flash that signature smirk. Fans loved it, opponents, not so much.
Started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like.
And then there were her assists -100.6 per game. That's right, she wasn't just scoring, she was making everyone around her better. Meanwhile, Angel Reese watched from the sidelines as Caitlin's star continued to rise. Reese is talented, no question her defensive skills are solid, and she's had her moments of brilliance. But it's clear that Caitlin's success eats at her. Every time Caitlin received another accolade or broke another record, Angel seemed to find a way to make it about herself. From passive-aggressive tweets to thinly veiled comments in interviews, she's made no secret of her feelings.
I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that.
Take the Forbes announcement, for example. Caitlin's inclusion in the prestigious 30 under 30 list should have been a moment of celebration for women's basketball as a whole. Instead, it turned into another chapter in the Caitlin Angel saga. While Caitlin humbly thanked her supporters and acknowledged the impact of her coaches and teammates, Angel's reaction was different. She didn't directly address Caitlin's achievement, but her social media told the story. Cryptic posts about being underrated and overlooked sent fans into a frenzy. Was she taking a shot at Caitlin? Most people thought so.
Caitlin Clark's last WNBA playoff game had over 2.6 million viewers, and now we are seeing the ratings dip under 1 million viewers.
Magazine Athlete of the Year, I think it's really great for the league.
And what about Angel herself? So far, she's kept quiet, uncharacteristically quiet. You have to wonder if she's drafting a response, crafting just the right words to diminish Caitlin's win without sounding too bitter. Let's be honest, subtlety has never been Angel's strong suit, but maybe this time she realizes there's not much she can say. This isn't just another social media spat, this is Caitlin Clark being recognized as the best in the game. Here's a clip from the Matrix Studios Coronet session. Some of Angel's fans are predictably crying foul, accusing the system of bias, bringing up old debates about double standards and race. But let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark earned this award. It's not about favoritism or politics. It's about performance. And let's not forget the narrative Angel tried to push after the NCAA championship. She played the "it's a team game" card, reminding everyone that LSU had won the title. But here's the thing. Individual brilliance still matters. Caitlin Clark's contributions were undeniable, championship or not. This award doesn't diminish LSU's victory. It simply recognizes that Caitlin was the standout star of the season.
I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then you continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
What makes this whole situation even more satisfying is Caitlin's reaction, or lack thereof. She hasn't gloated, she hasn't taunted, and she hasn't even acknowledged Angel Reese's antics from months ago. She stayed humble, letting her game do the talking. That kind of grace only makes her win more deserving. While Angel was busy playing to the cameras, Caitlin stayed focused on what truly matters: basketball. This isn't to say Angel Reese isn't talented. She is. But there's a difference between being a good player and being a generational talent. Caitlin Clark is the kind of player people will talk about for years. Her style, her precision, her ability to dominate under pressure, all of it sets her apart. Angel may have had her viral moment, but Caitlin has a legacy.
She got the cookout, but when you hear that, thoughts on Caitlin Clark saying she wants to use her platform to elevate Black women in the WNBA, have been instrumental, obviously, in building that league.
The question now is, how will Angel respond? Will she let this go, or will she turn it into yet another drama-filled spectacle? If history is any indication, she'll probably lean into the drama. After all, controversy keeps her in the spotlight. But here's the thing. This isn't just another Twitter debate. This is Caitlin Clark being immortalized as the best of the best. No amount of finger wagging or ring pointing can change that.
Who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong.
That poultry paycheck? It's a calculated trade-off for the exposure the league provides. Millions tune in to watch her every move, and those eyeballs translate into something much more valuable than a game day check brand power. The real money isn't in the rebounds or the three-pointers, it's in what she represents. Companies, both big and small, are lining up to associate their names with hers.
And I'm so happy for her to get the $28 million.
But wait, there's more.
Take her speaking engagements, for example. While others grind away at 9-to-5 jobs, Caitlin Clark commands $100,000 for a half-hour virtual appearance. In person, double or even triple that. She's pocketed at least $600,000 this year just for showing up and talking. That's not work, that's printing money. And why wouldn't brands pay? She's magnetic, authentic, and a walking inspiration. People don't just listen to her, they buy into her.
The reality is that, as from a marketing perspective, Caitlin Clark is worth more than almost any pro basketball player in the world.
Then there are her endorsement deals, which are in a league of their own. Nike, Wilson, State Farm, the big players in the game have all thrown their hats into the ring. Nike reportedly signed her for millions, and they didn't even need a pitch. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to convince anyone of her worth. Her name does all the talking. State Farm probably broke their advertising budget just to have her appear in one of those quirky commercials. Wilson, the iconic basketball brand, practically wrote her a blank check. Each deal cements her position not just as a player, but as a global icon. The WNBA just got brutally exposed after Caitlin Clark's insane ticket sales were leaked. Turns out she generates 25% of ticket sales, merchandise, and TV ratings. Clark is basically the WNBA's walking stimulus package, bringing in millions for the league. Yet, despite all the revenue she helps generate, she's only making $76,000 a year. Let that sink in. The WNBA has a gold mine in Clark, but they're paying her like she's working the concession stand. It's a harsh reality. They might not have noticed, but Caitlin Clark doesn't just play basketball, she changes the game. Whether the league likes it or not, the fans are here for her. The numbers don't lie, and neither does the passion she brings to the court. So, WNBA, it's time to wake up, pay her, celebrate her, or watch her take her talents elsewhere. And we all know who would be losing in that scenario. Last season, Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she transformed it into a national event. From sold-out arenas to skyrocketing viewership, the numbers were jaw-dropping. The Indiana Fever's home opener tickets hit $271 for the cheapest seat, more expensive than 29 out of 30 NBA teams' openers. Yes, you read that right. Caitlin Clark playing in a WNBA game generated more buzz than the NBA's biggest stars. For context, $271 could get you a decent seat at an NBA game or nosebleeds at a Caitlin Clark showcase. Talk about priorities. It's not just ticket prices. Clark reportedly added $36 million in revenue for the city of Indianapolis alone since being drafted. Let's be clear, that's not just the team, that's the city, restaurants, hotels, local businesses. They're all cashing in. Meanwhile, Clark herself gets pocket change compared to her impact. Fans are scratching their heads, wondering how the league justifies paying her the same as players who, respectfully, couldn't sell out a high school gym. Social media exploded when it was revealed that Caitlin Clark is responsible for 25% of the WNBA's total revenue. One player, 25%. The reaction was a mix of awe, outrage, and sarcasm. Comments like Clark is the reason this league is still afloat. And how does she not have her own private jet by now started flooding in? But the WNBA's response? Crickets. Let's not forget the TV ratings. When Clark played, her games often drew more viewers than marquee NBA matchups. For example, one of her college games pulled in 3.2 million viewers, outpacing a Warriors vs. Celtics clash at 3 million. Yes, women's basketball outperformed the NBA, but instead of celebrating this monumental shift, critics and even some WNBA players found reasons to hate. The numbers don't lie, but the league sure does. The WNBA wants to act like its success is the result of collective growth, but let's be real, it's Caitlin Clark dragging the league forward, kicking and screaming. Without her, those TV ratings plummet, those ticket sales nosedive, and those merchandise profits evaporate. The league should be bending over backward to keep her happy, not sticking to antiquated pay structures that scream, "We don't actually value you." Fans aren't blind to this nonsense. Social media is flooded with calls for change. People are pointing out the absurdity of her paycheck compared to her impact. It's not just about fairness, it's about business. You don't underpay the person responsible for your survival. That's not just bad optics, it's bad math. But apparently, the WNBA is too busy patting itself on the back for incremental growth to notice. The league is playing a dangerous game. If they don't adapt, they risk losing not just Clark, but the entire momentum she's created. Players like her aren't a dime a dozen, they're once-in-a-generation talents who can redefine a sport. If the WNBA doesn't figure out a way to pay her what she's worth, or at least close to it, don't be surprised if other leagues or opportunities come calling. And when that happens, the WNBA will have no one to blame but itself. Caitlin Clark, the rookie, drops a bombshell after making $10 million off the court. The basketball phenom, who's making less than the cost of a decent SUV in her first year on the court, has turned her modest paycheck into a PR goldmine. While others are sweating over their 9-to-5 grind, Caitlin is cashing six-figure checks just to show up and talk. And get this, some brands are willing to fork over more than the price of a house and fly her across the country just to have her grace their stage, while the WNBA throws her peanuts. Caitlin Clark has turned her off-the-court presence into a financial empire, stacking up $10 million in the process. Yes, that's right, the rookie everyone felt sorry for has more zeros in her bank account than some seasoned NBA veterans. For Clark, the transition from college to the WNBA wasn't just about showcasing her skills, it was about proving that she belonged at the highest level of the game. Critics like Swoops doubted Caitlin Clark's ability to handle the physicality and pace of the professional game, but Clark didn't just meet expectations, she shattered them. Her adaptability against defenses, ability to play through contact, and knack for making clutch plays in critical moments showcased a level of maturity rarely seen in first-year players. Swoop's initial critique of Clark wasn't limited to her playing style, she also questioned Clark's ability to lead a team, suggesting that her individual success might come at the expense of team cohesion. Once again, Clark defied expectations. Her unselfish play and ability to rally her teammates became one of the Fever's greatest strengths, solidifying her role as both a star player and a team leader. Whether it was her chemistry with veterans like Kelsey Mitchell or her mentorship of younger players, Caitlin Clark proved she was more than just a scorer, she was a leader. As the season progressed and Clark's impact became undeniable, Swoop shifted her narrative, focusing on other aspects of Clark's game while avoiding direct acknowledgement of her earlier predictions. This wasn't the first time Swoop's comments had missed the mark, but the stark contrast between her words and Clark's reality only added to the drama surrounding the ongoing feud. Clark's rookie campaign wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a pivotal moment for the Indiana Fever. After years of struggling to find an identity, the team finally had a star who could carry them into a new era. Her hunger to improve, combined with her relentless work ethic, made her a natural fit for White's vision. Caitlin isn't just a great player, she's a cornerstone for the future, White emphasized, cementing her importance to the team's future success. Stephanie White's tenure as the Indiana Fever head coach came with lofty expectations. After years of underperformance, the franchise needed more than just a tactical overhaul, they needed a cultural reset. From day one, White made it clear that her focus extended beyond X's and O's. She wanted to create a winning mentality, build trust within the locker room, and establish a team-first ethos. This philosophy became even more critical in the wake of Sheryl Swoopes' pointed criticisms of the Fever's organization. Swoopes painted a picture of discord, suggesting that players were unhappy and eager to leave. Her claims included sharp critiques of the Fever's management and coaching approach, alleging that the team failed to recognize talent and foster loyalty. Caitlin's hunger to improve is unmatched, White shared. She's not just looking to score points, she's looking to make everyone around her better. White also made it a priority to integrate Clark into the team's existing structure without alienating veteran players like Kelsey Mitchell. Swoopes had criticized the Fever for their handling of Mitchell, an unrestricted free agent who had just come off a stellar season. White, however, was quick to highlight Mitchell's significance to the team's success, emphasizing her role in the team's continued growth and stability. Ensuring that Mitchell's contributions were both recognized and celebrated, White's balanced approach helped to dispel any notion of favoritism and reinforce the team's unity beyond individual relationships. She also addressed broader organizational changes that were essential for the Fever's resurgence. White implemented more rigorous training sessions, introduced analytics-driven game plans, and prioritized mental conditioning to prepare players for high-pressure situations. These measures paid off as the Fever not only improved their win-loss record, but also displayed a newfound resilience in close games. Swoopes' narrative of a fractured locker room couldn't have been further from the truth. Players often spoke about the familial atmosphere within the team, describing group outings, post-practice bonding sessions, and a shared determination to succeed. White's emphasis on accountability was key to this dynamic. She encouraged players to take ownership of their mistakes while also celebrating their achievements, fostering a culture of continuous improvement. As White worked to rebuild the Fever's image, she didn't shy away from addressing Swoopes' remarks head-on. In a candid interview, she called out the inaccuracies in Swoopes' statements, urging critics to look at the evidence rather than relying on hearsay. "Our players are proud to be part of this team," White asserted. "The work ethic, the chemistry, the hunger to win, it's all here. Anyone claiming otherwise hasn't been paying attention." Perhaps the most telling moment came when White discussed the team's future. Her vision extended far beyond a single championship. She spoke passionately about building a dynasty with Clark, Mitchell, and the rest of the Fever's core. Leading the charge, White explained, "This isn't just about winning now, it's about creating a legacy that lasts."